Yeah, hi grade 9s. Mr. Van Horn here with you. We're going to look at three examples here now involving multiplying and dividing monomials. So here we have an example. It says to simplify this, and it's 4a to the exponent 5b squared times 3ab cubed. Now we're trying to multiply these two monomials together. And the way we do that is really a two-step process. And I'm going to use some color today to try and assist with trying to remember what's happening with all these little parts that make up these terms. So you'll notice that each of these terms has a number part, and that each of these terms have variable parts. And I'm going to be using color here to try and help out. And by using the color, I hope we can identify exactly what it is that we're supposed to be doing. So to begin with the yellow parts, which of course is the number part, the coefficient of each term, it is as simple as simply multiplying. And we're multiplying because, well, the question is a multiplying question. And so 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, I'm just going to continue using this color that we have going, so that's 12. Okay, and now we also, of course, need some green stuff here, and we're going to need some blue stuff as well. And so now for the green stuff and blue stuff, because they're in the variable part, what we need to do is apply our power laws to simplify that stuff. So looking at the green stuff, it's a to the exponent 5 times a. Well, let's not forget that a is like a to the exponent 1. The power law here is the multiplying powers law, which says to keep the base the same and add the exponents. And that's how you simplify the green part. Using the exact same thinking for the blue part, the base stays the same and you add the exponents. And so we end up with an answer of 12, a to the exponent 6, b to the exponent 5. And that one is done. That's how we do a question like that. So that's multiplying. Let's now move on to a dividing question. Now again, the instruction here is to simplify. And so a lot of the same thinking that we just did applies to this question, except that let's not forget that, well, we are dividing with this one. So just using some color to identify all of the parts that we're going to be comparing here. We know that as we go simplifying here, we're going to have some yellow stuff, some green stuff, and some blue stuff. And so, because it's a dividing question, starting with the number parts, the coefficients, negative 25 divided by 5 is, well, let's hope that your integer skills are up to snuff and realize that the answer is negative 5. The green stuff now, so now the green and blue stuff, which is the variable part, the green stuff's interesting. We have x divided by x. Well, the dividing powers law says to keep the base same and subtract the exponents. Well, let's not forget the exponents on each of these is 1. So we end up with x to the exponent 0. Now, if you're already thinking ahead, thinking, well, there's a simpler way to write that, you're right, but just hang on. We'll do it in the next line. So x to the exponent 0, and then for the y parts, again, we will subtract the exponents because we are dividing, and we end up with y to the exponent 1. Now again, if you're thinking there's a simpler way to write that, you are correct. And so taking this one step further this time to make this even simpler, negative 5, well, x to the exponent 0 is 1. So instead of this saying negative 5 times x to the exponent 0, now we can just say, well, it's negative 5 times 1, which is just negative 5. So there's no need to even write that green stuff at all. Y to the exponent 1 can be more simply just written as y. And so our answer is negative 5y. That's the simplest way to write that. Final example. Again, we're being asked to simplify, and this one now has some nested power stuff going on. Using some color, again, there's some green stuff going on there, but then there's some blue stuff going on there. And yes, I've purposely taken that exponent 3 and put a couple of colors on it to help alert you to the idea that that exponent 3 is going to apply to both pieces of the variable part. And so we're going to have some green stuff, we're going to have some blue stuff, and now the nested powers law, because that's what we have here, says to keep the base the same and multiply the exponents. And so we'll have c to the exponent 18. And then for the d part, don't forget there is an exponent 1 right here that goes along with the d. And so it's, 1 times 3, we end up with d cubed. So 3 different examples, 3 different power laws. You really have to be aware whether or not you have a multiplying question, a dividing question, or a nested powers question when deciding exactly how you go about simplifying it. Well, there you go, grade 9s. Good luck.